One of the biggest misconceptions is that everybody running with this, the United States is responsible for my bills. FYI, they're paying them. Every single one of them. What you have to understand is that every contract that you sign, you gave them permission to do everything that they are doing. Everything. Go read your contract, right? But when you understand their words and their terminology, and you guys understand what's really going on, then you'll understand why we teach the way that we do. You guys hear me talk about securities fraud all day. You don't hear me talking about no 15 USC 1692 or 1681. Only then if we're dealing with a credit report. But if you're dealing with a mortgage, you're dealing with a car note, you're dealing with student loans, any retail installment agreement, you have to look at it for what it is. It is called securities fraud, okay? When some of you guys have asked for documentation for some of these corporations, and you'll say, give me the documentation according to GAAP. I need the public and the private side. They ignore you, right? They act like they don't know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna show you that with the proper terminology, there is an accounting on the private side. And I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. I'm gonna show you guys that it is securities fraud, and this is how they're doing it. They're getting away with it because they're all foreign companies, the way that they are registered. And according to the Security Exchange, if they are considered foreign, they do not have to report their securities. So they're getting by without reporting their securities. But more importantly, they're evading taxes. The IRS and the IMF, they're not a respected person or business. They want their money. And these companies are evading taxes. The reason that I say that this is much bigger than just debt, and it's much bigger than you just getting the title to your car and your little down payment back, right? Or you're getting the deed to your house and no money back. You guys are good with that. But after this class, we're gonna see if you are really still gonna be good with it, okay? I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna show you guys something.
Hands out and prepare your jaws to be on the floor.
Yeah.
I can promise you that.
Jaws about to drop. And this is why I'm always talking about it's collect the bag season. Okay. So this right here is the accounting that you guys are asking for on the private side. This is actually a forensic audit that was done on a mortgage, okay? It was done by a certified loan auditor. So we'll start here. One, I'm always talking about is the security, because what does it say? Securitization and the participants, okay? It gives you the borrower, the co-borrower, the current address. I did remove their information out because this does belong to somebody. Went too fast. So this is where the mortgage started. This is the date. This is where the note went to. Then it got transferred down to a trust. So for you guys that have been with me for a minute, and I've showed you those SBG global forms, and I say they transfer from one company to another one, and they always protect their money by putting it in a trust, which is why I've told every last one of you guys to put your life inside of a trust, the same way these companies are doing, okay? So it started here.
Can I interject real quick?
Absolutely.
So you guys are wanting help finding the trustees, right? Understand only trust can deal with trust, and they are moving these things into private trust, right? So when you are searching, a lot of times you'll see, like for Discover Card, they are operating out of Discover Execution Note Trust, and you'll find the indenture agreement between that trust and the indenture trustee bank, right? And when you look at that form on SP Global in the flow chart, it's because it goes from the depositor to the trust. So the trust has the agreement with the indenture trust bank, right? So when you're looking, you can always find it most likely connected to a trust. So if you can't find it under MasterCard, search MasterCard Trust, SP Global, MasterCard Trust, Securities Exchange, right? If you type in that trust portion, it'll help you along. But that's all I wanted to say.
Absolutely. Right. So if you're new in here and you need to understand a little more, the reason that the all capital name letter was created is only a corporation can deal with a corporation. And as Caleb said, only a trust can deal with the trust, right? So you are the agent for the principal. I know a lot of y'all know what that means because y'all see it on the paper. Agent to, what is it? Notice the agent.
Is notice to principal, and notice to principal is notice to agent.
Okay, so what he just said, because I've never written that. So basically, when you write that, if you're the agent for the principal, you just wrote a letter to yourself. Or you think they keep ignoring them? Right? Because the principal is the all caps, and you are the agent for that all caps. Okay, so that's why as soon as they see those terms in your paper, they laugh. They say they still ain't got it. Okay, so once again, this document came from a certified forensic auditor, and they are considered expert witnesses. We are able to use these when we are taking these corporations to court. So there's the FHA number, there's all that good stuff, but let's go down some more. So you see it started with Jenny Mack, but this is the sponsor. So Securities LLC, the co-sponsor is Michelin Financial Group Incorporated. The trustee, Wells Fargo Bank. The tax administrator is always the trustee. So y'all remember when I just said they're violating the tax laws because they're not filing taxes. And this is why I always tell you, forget the CEO and the CFO, go straight for the trustee because they are the ones that are lawfully responsible for transferring the securities. They are the ones that are responsible for paying the taxes. They are the ones that are responsible for the cancellation of our debts with that 1099. They have till March 31st of every year after the tax filing year in order to get those done. So we're not just telling y'all to look for the trustee for no reason. They are the head honcho. So that's some stuff y'all need that really don't make a difference. Let me get down to the good stuff. So just like I've showed you guys, there is a way that the note moves. When you are getting these audit reports done, it shows you how it was moved, how it went from the person, they turned into a deed of trust, it went to the lender, turned it into a mortgage, it went to Jenny Mae, they put it in the trust, then they circle back, right? And then they took the note, once it has been securitized, they took it and they gave it to the investors. This is where it comes when I say they're selling your securities. They start selling it here after they transferred it, protected it, securitized it, and then now it's good for the investors, okay? They are doing this with everything that you sign. Job applications. If you know what the meaning of application is, you will know that any job application you've ever filled out is a security. This is the reason why they say that we're never supposed to be denied credit, because as soon as you fill it out and sign it, you turn it into a security and they're going to sell it to the investors, okay? Now let's go down. So you guys hear me say that because we are considered minors, they are considered custodians. So the mortgage broker, they put unknown, but then the mortgage broker took it to the lender, gave it to the borrower. Then the lender sells the loan to the issuer. So they sold this loan to the issuer, which means they got paid for it, right? So the borrower obtains the loan from the lender. It can be done through the mortgage broker. And then the lender sells the loan to the issuer, okay? And they are considered the custodian. Loan documents on behalf of the trustee. The reason that they are a custodian because you went in there as the agent for the principal and your principal is a minor, especially if you haven't put it back on the record with your age, your majority document, and then you put your birth certificate back on the record, which is ultimately why the first class we did was the recording national status / do not detain, because all of it ties together. But until then, you're considered a minor and everybody is considered your custodian. Okay. So this just says, can anybody tell me what they think this amount right here is? It's just, you can guess. Nephew, somebody put their hand up because I can't see it.
Okay, let's see if any hands. Anybody want to guess what that number is right there?
Latia, how just Letitia.
All right.
Hi, y'all. Yes, it looks like $518,335,496.
Okay. And where do you think that number came from?
All the trading and selling of the securities.
You are absolutely 1,000% right. This was a under $200,000 mortgage that at this time they have made $518 million off of one signature and one sheet of paper. And I'm gonna show you how they did it. Hold on. All righty. For anybody that know about the Bloomberg report, okay, we all know about the QSIP number, right? This is how you get your QSIP number, by getting a forensic audit ran. So this is the QSIP number that was developed off of that one document that she signed, okay? At this particular time when it was ran as of November the 27th, this was the balance, $488 million. By the time they got done transfer some money out, it was worth $356 million, okay? You see where the trustee bank is? I just showed y'all up top who they said the trustee was, who was the servicer banks. Here it is, it's Wells Fargo. Because in order for a security to be turned into a securitized instrument to even develop the number, it has to go through your bank. I keep telling you guys, your bank is your middleman. You're not getting to the treasury without going through your bank. If you want to fact check me on that, go on to treasurydirect.gov and it will tell you that if you have any issues with your securities, it said, please do not contact the Federal Reserve or the Treasury or Janet Yellen, as y'all know her. It says, go to your financial institution. Y'all see why? It tells you when it's going to be paid again. So this number right here will continue to drop because they paid it out. They received it on 11/30. They paid it out on 12/16. Payday is the 16th of every month. The pays is done every 2 weeks. Let's go down some more. So they then sold the security some more. So this is where that $518 million came from, because this was the amount of the note. You see how many times they selling your signature? And then they have the audacity to say that you owe them. They have the audacity to foreclose and repossess when this is what they are making off of every sheet of paper that we sign our name to, because we're considered chattel paper and we lack certain knowledge to understand how it works. Oh, you got something to say, nephew? Go ahead.
It's going to come up later in the lesson, but I'm glad you said that. Chattel paper.
We are chattel paper. Okay.
But do y'all understand? Can you see how extensive that is? That's money you generated off your signature that they use and they selling and trading it. Yeah. So y'all still okay with just doing the 1099, right? Okay. I certainly wouldn't be okay just doing it.
Just okay with, right? Or just okay with getting your title. It's bigger than that.
This is what we mean.
They did was
when we say securities fraud.
So let me show you. All right. I'm gonna go down some more.
If you don't know about the Bloomberg terminal, look it up.
This is where all the securities are done. So I skipped down here for a reason. So these companies that you guys are looking for, do you see all of these? These are every company that they transfer the note to. See how many times they do it? So for you guys that's been with me for a minute, and I've showed you guys how one business will have several sub businesses up under them, correct? So look at here. So we got iPick Texas is the same company as iPick Media, but because they got two different IEINs number. So what iPick Texas did, they took it, securitized it, came up with a QSIP number, okay? So then they took that QSIP number and then they transferred the security again to iPick Media LLC. So now they got another QSIP number. Then they transferred it again to iPack Gold Class Entertainment, iPack Gold Class Holdings. This is why when you will see, like with Discover, you'll have Discover Corporation, then you'll have Discover Trust, but they're all still one company. So what this
Discover Holdings
report
Company,
shows
Discover
is when you guys,
Deposit.
there you go. And so what this form right here is showing that when you're asking them for information via GAAP, and you're asking them for the accounting on the other side, do you now see why they refuse to give it to you? Because having a document like this means that they are going to fold with you quickly. Because do you know, if I was to take this piece of paper and I was to do a report through the Security Exchange about securities fraud and the comp controller, every last one of these companies are liable. Because what does the law say? Under 16 CFR, it says any holder of the consumer credit contract, the debtor can assert their rights. So technically, this client can sue every last company on here. And at this time, it was 1,320 times, there you go, that they sold it. Even one time they even gave it back to her and she didn't even realize it, but then they sold it out again. So when people get to telling you that they can get your QSIP report and all of that, yeah, they can get your QSIP number. But if they are not considered a certified mortgage securitization auditor, a Bloomberg specialist, you can't use it in court. If this particular company was still open and she went to court, she can call these people in as an expert witness. Okay. When I first started doing this a couple of years ago, and the first Bloomberg report that I was able to look at, they ended up making like $728 billion off of the account. And when the customer put in a claim with the company and they showed them that they had this, they settled out with her for $18 million. It made her sign an NDA, of course, but she settled out for $18 million because showing this and having this proof right here from the Bloomberg terminal, having the QSIP number, people end up in jail, bankers, they'll owe the IRS. So when you do the work and you are able to obtain something in this magnitude, it all works in your favor. And when you are properly on the private side of the bank, this QSIP number technically belongs to her. So if she was on the private side of the bank properly, she can take this QSIP number, take it to the bank, and then sell it to them, because that's what they're doing. And that's technically what we're supposed to be doing. The reason that I showed you guys this, show you that it's bigger than just a debt. Do you understand totality of how much these people have made off of us? And they got the nerve to say that we still owe them. But they're only saying that we owe them is because we signed a sheet of paper saying that we will pay them, even though it was false and misleading. So that's why I say don't go rescind no contracts. Make these people pay you. Okay.
Can you see why there would be a big push for recension, right? That you have to understand, there's a lot of people who give you bad information because they don't want you to get to this point. They want you to settle out with the little wins that you can maybe get before they change up the system on you. But when you come with something like this, it's total knockout. Like the severity of this.
And then I wanted to show one more thing before I take this off and we get into the power. Okay, so for everybody that I said, go pull your UCC 11. And I told you that if there's no lien there, there's no case. This report by itself shows you that they filed it with the official records, the Register of Deeds office, on February the 5th. What does this say? No recorded assignment of mortgage. So yeah, they put it in the mortgage book, but they never attached the lien to it. So lawfully, they can never go after her. And this is with every document you've ever signed, car notes and all. So with a car note, they're going to send it. That's why they ask you, oh, we'll send your paper off to the DMV and you can come pick your plate up from us, because they're never going to record it as a UCC. And as long as you think that there's a lien on your physical title, then you feel like you owe them. But the law says under the UCC that if there is no perfected lien, and there are two components to a perfected lien. The first one is the promissory note. Okay, you got that. But they say in order for that promissory note to be considered a perfected lien, where they can legally come after the debtor, it has to be in the UCC system. And if it's not there, they can't charge. Okay. Stinker, I'll let you ask a question. Go ahead. Stinker Fair.
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Hey,
you.
girl, I'm ascending vegan. How you doing? I appreciate
Hey.
the call. And I'm going to tell you this right now, what you just said. I didn't even expect this. My husband just bought a car. They sent him the paperwork. We got the title and it says, go turn this in
Nope.
and tell us we're the lien holder. I told him, don't do it.
Don't do it. Because guess what? If he don't do it, he can't. This is why I tell people, when you go to buy a car, FYI guys, when you go to buy a car, do not go to the dealership to get the financing. Go to your credit union or your bank. They are going to give you a check, okay? So when you go into the dealership, it is considered a cash deal. They are going to send you the title because it was a cash deal. The finance companies are depending on you, just like she said. Oh, send it to and tell them we the lien holder, girl. No, you don't, because there's nothing that they can do. They have no security interest. They're not on the lien. They don't have a leg to stand on. If I was you, I wouldn't do it.
Thank you. Now,
This
we're not
is,
doing
and
that.
this is
I
also
listen
what
to
we
y'all.
mean when we say it's voluntary, because if you were to do that, that would have been by your own choice. Now they may have requested it, but if you don't do it, what is the legal recourse?
Nothing. And I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna do. What they're gonna end up doing is, when she doesn't send the title over for them to put a security on it, they're gonna turn that auto loan into a personal loan. Tell me when they do it, because they're going to do it. Once after so long you don't turn it in, you're going to still try to get their money, and then they're going to turn it into a personal loan. So even when it comes to when you actually get in the car, they ask you, let us give this to the DMV. You have the right to say no. No, I'll do it myself. And you definitely can do it yourself. Okay, that was a very good example. I appreciate that one.
Well, thank you. And I just want to
So
say they did offer. They said, go register it and we'll pay you the taxes back. They keep sending them letters that they're going to give them money to do it.
nope, don't do it. And if I was you, so is the car just in your husband's name or is it in yours too?
It's just, we haven't got anything registered. The loan is in his name. We just got the paperwork in the mail about 4 days ago, but I told him, let me get into this meeting.
And you got the title, right?
I got it right here in my hands.
So this is what you do. Have him transfer the title over to you. And now you go put the car in your name. We play the same games that they play. Because technically he could sell the car. It belongs to him. He has the title. So y'all know, holder in due course, whoever has the title is the one that owns it. Because it's the possession is 9/10 of the law. Because she never let them register. They did it as a cash deal. They are waiting for her to send the title, and I will not. If they make a mistake and send you your title and it's free and clear, don't send it back to them. Okay, they mess up. They take enough money from us, because still at the end of the day, that contract that he signed, even though they don't have security interest, they're still selling that contract. They sell contracts for 33 years. Come on, y'all. Y'all know how they do their numbers. Everything is in threes. They're all Mason's numbers. Just like your birth certificate, it was sold for 33 years. Each one of these contracts are sold for 33 years. Because this contract that I just showed you guys started in 2013. They are still going to transfer this contract all the way to 2053. And I'm going to show y'all because it's on. Where is that? Because it say how long, oh, it's down here. How long they're going to trade this title. And so now do you guys see that was in my arbitration class? Why, one, they say that there is no statute of limitations on fraud. Get that 3-year TILA stuff out your head, okay? There's no statute of limitations on fraud. This is considered fraud, okay? Y'all have heard us talk about Regulation X. Y'all heard us talk about Regulation Z. They putting it in your face, okay? But let me show y'all where they're going to sell this contract up until 2053 is on one of these papers. So while I'm looking for that, the good thing about it, y'all know Path to Freedom always got to make sure that anybody that comes across my path is available. Path to Freedom / Henry Ross and Consulting now have a financial auditor that is on the team, that a financial forensic auditor. So for every one of you guys, if you're on here and you are my arbitration clients, please understand that every last one of you will get one of these reports. Here we go. Maturity date, 1/16/2053. And they started it in 2013. They still making money off of it, unless we do something about it. And even if they pay her out, unless she requests for them to stop selling this security, they're still going to do it. If it was me personally, I'll take possession of this QSUP number and then I will go into a security transfer agent and go and resell it to them. Can't sell it to Wells Fargo because they're the one that started it. Okay. So that's just to show you guys that this is a lot bigger than what you think that it is.